It's that time of the day, that time of the week. Welcome back for another brand new episode of the Beyond Station podcast with, of course, your three amigos, your three most favorite people in the entire world. I don't got to say anymore, but I got to say it anyways. My boy Brett, my boy Brad, myself Eduardo.
Yeah.
Welcome back, boys. How does it feel to be back here in La Casa, aka? I feel like we have a full blown legit studio now.
It's legit,
dude. I mean, you're gonna find out here in a couple days, in a couple weeks. We're gonna have a very special guest.
Yes.
I don't want to reveal too much, but he's been a past previous guest, but he's coming in with a bang with some pretty interesting stuff in regards to AI. So definitely stay tuned for that. And as the day gets closer, we'll reveal more as we closer to the date. But boys, how are you guys doing today?
Brad, let's start with you.
Yeah, let's start with you. Brad, you look like what? He's the one that looks more like there's something going on.
Oh, no, nothing's going on with me. I'm just worn out.
Oh, no, man.
I got the coaching
all of
going
us.
on.
Oh, yeah. So, well, how's that going? I know we talked that on the past previous episode. If you haven't caught up with that, definitely check it out. Available on all my stream platforms. But how's it going with that little update? How's everything going with that?
It's going good. We've had a couple of camps since the last time we talked, and we went down to UW and did the team camp this week, and both of our teams did really well. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So is this like somewhere? I'm assuming it's like somewhere in Seattle, right?
Yeah, UW.
Oh, UW. See, we're all worn out, right? We're
University
definitely all
of
worn
Washington
out.
is in Seattle. If you guys don't know,
the Huskies.
Yeah, there'd be like probably the major college, I would say, of Washington besides Gonzaga.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
So your first game's going to be, you've been scrimmaging because I think last time you said you had another game over here close by.
Yeah, the actual season doesn't start for a while. It doesn't start until late November, but we're going at it. We're trying to change the culture in the program and have everybody ready for next year.
A lot of improvements?
Oh, yeah, already.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, working with them every day pretty much. Like just today, I was at the gym with a couple of them before we started.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working
making them
out
run?
No, just because that's more voluntary, them being there. So I was just kind of showing a couple of the bigger guys how to lift weights and, how I used to train like when I played in college. And, then went right out and did some basketball drills in the gym and stuff. And
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. No, kudos to you for doing that, bro. That's what's up. I can't wait to hear more as the year progresses to talk about kind of like maybe the ending result, like we were talking about on the other episode, how how it went from the beginning to end to see all this progress come about. Because those are always like the coolest stories. You know what I'm saying?
I want to see the YouTube video of Brad getting the Gatorade dumped over him after winning the championship.
It would be sick. Me and the coaches are already talking about it. We're like, dude, we're like LeBron when he's like, not one, not two, not three. Right. Hopefully it works out better than it did for him in Miami. But
well, dude, perfect segue. We're talking about LeBron. This is crazy because I text you as this unfolded, and this was one of your predictions, and we were going back and forth on it. I'm kind of like, I think we left off saying, yeah, we could see it happen in the possible future. But now his son is with the Lakers, right?
Yep.
So, and I remember you called it. You were talking about how like that was you could kind of see that happening, and you wouldn't be surprised if it did. But you also mentioned that it was kind of more like a blackmail situation, if you want to call it that, right? Well, explain it better. You kind of explained it to me, but you have a good way with sports.
Yeah,
so you got the voice.
Basically, I think what we talked about, and I don't remember how many episodes ago it was.
It was a while. Ago.
We were just talking about the fact of LeBron. He had 1 year left on his contract and he could opt out, which is what he did. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's leaving. But basically what it means is he's going to re-sign to a bigger contract. But it left the door open to, like, if my son's available, you better take him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because he's been really vocal over the last, I would say, like 3 years, especially since Bronny like started coming onto the scene in like high school and like really started making a name for himself.
Yeah.
He had been saying that it was his dream to play in the league with his son. And he's on, I would say LeBron's on his last, I mean, who knows really with him, but I would say he's on at least on his last 2 to 3 years right now.
How old is he again? He's like I
want to say
40,
he's
right?
like 38 or 39 or something like that. So he's like getting up there. He might even be 40 now.
Yeah. I want to say he's close to 40 or maybe
because when we were in high school, he was about to come out of the draft.
Yeah.
And that was when we were in like
crazy.
08.
Yeah, that's crazy. So he would be literally the first player in NBA history to play with his son in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be, right?
I think they're the first teammates in the history.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's
Making history like that, I think that would be pretty big for them. And then you also have to think about, right, like, because we talk about opening up some sports packs here in the future.
Right.
Imagine how much that card would go for in the near future.
Oh,
if you were to get that rookie card with them, both of them together,
they're gonna have. I guarantee you, they're gonna have like a like a jersey patch autograph, like Bronny and LeBron card.
Oh,
I guarantee you they're gonna have it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. But
which, to be honest with you, is probably gonna make it less valuable having Bronny on it.
Really?
At this point, maybe initially,
okay,
there'll be the excitement of it.
Yeah.
But like a couple of my friends and I were talking about this yesterday. If you take the name away from the player, he doesn't get drafted. I would agree. Based off of the actual output and like statistics that he contributed to his team, he would not. And also there's other things that go into that, right? Like some players you'll see get drafted really high, but they actually, maybe their stats don't show that they should be drafted that high.
Yeah.
They'll have something that comes with it. They'll be like 7'1" with like a 7'5" wingspan,
for sure.
or they'll be like 6'8" with like the basically the roof of like the sky is the limit for them, right? Like if you can develop a guy like that, you're like, holy shit, like I hit the lottery.
Yeah.
But Bronny is like 6'3", and he averaged like 5 points a game.
Wow.
Okay, so the stats aren't there.
It's
just the name.
I personally think that he has the talent and the possibility is there.
Yeah.
Like where he could develop into something even greater. But I think in the NBA or like any pro sports, it's all about the situation that you come into. If you're like him, he would have basically, let's say his name's not Bronny James and it's player, James Jones or whatever, right? He's probably lucky to be in the D League. Okay. Like in the developmental league. And then maybe one day you play your way up onto a bench or something like that. But that type of a path is not a path that a lot of people succeed with. So a lot of players will play up or down to their competition, and something tells me that LeBron thinks that he'll play up to the competition that he's with. So I think that I don't know if you heard, but he was basically his agent Rich Paul was calling around and telling teams not to take him.
Yeah,
because he was like, we'll just go to Australia.
Oh, so we're setting already in stone. If anybody else gets him, he's going to go to Australia.
Because they know that. Like the blackmail thing that you had said, right?
Yeah.
Like what's taking the Toronto Raptors away from taking Bronny in hopes that LeBron will come.
Right.
And they didn't want anyone to think like, yo, like if we take Bronny, like maybe LeBron will come.
Yeah.
So they were like, it's not going to happen and he's not going to play in the D League.
Makes sense.
So if you draft him to a team, he has to have a guarantee he's going to be on the roster. So, but I think I want to say the Lakers are the only team that he agreed he would play in the D League.
Interesting.
And I think it's because his whole house, I mean, they grow up that he lives there with his dad, right?
Definitely,
How much easier it makes it for him to just play. If he's going to play in the D League, at least he can be around his parents, he can be around his family, and then, maybe develop more naturally.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool, man.
Yeah, and to start off your professional career with your dad. I mean, that alone, like, I think that's pretty cool looking at from that aspect too. But imagine the revenue it's going to bring for the Lakers too, because now I think tickets are going to go sky high on this one. Because you're going to see father and son duo, and then you got to think about the possibilities. Like it's a strong if they take it to the championships. Like imagine all that, right?
Crazy.
Like it's a lot of things were like wishful thinking, right? But I mean, you have to look at all those angles to understand. Like it's a big power play for the Lakers, but obviously, I think LeBron had a lot to do with it.
They basically secured LeBron by doing that. But you never know what might happen. It's actually kind of crazy to think, but I don't know if you guys know, but there's been other father-son duos in other sports.
Okay,
and one of them was here in Seattle.
Okay.
Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad.
Yes.
They're the only, I believe they're the only father-son duo to ever hit a home run in the same game.
Yeah.
Wow.
They both hit a home run. I want to say his dad went up there and hit one, and then he went up there and cranked one afterward.
That's crazy.
That's sweet.
That's what's up.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. And then, and also now Tiger Woods with his son. teaching them, right? Schooling them
that'd
up.
Be crazy.
So yeah, man, that's dope. I mean, yeah,
we're getting old.
Yeah, dude, I know, man. It's like the next legacy starting up, the next generation.
Crazy.
So it's
all
like
the juniors are coming now.
Oh, dude, I know it's wild to see, right? So yeah, man. Okay, cool. So yeah, man. I mean, hey, we'll see what happens with the Showtime Lakers, and we'll see how they'll play both together on the same team. So. Yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be seeing all the players that we watched when we were kids. Their kids are all going to be coming in now.
Isn't that wild?
And I don't know if you guys pay attention to baseball at all, but there's a lot of that going on right now.
Okay,
like where Matt Holliday, he was a World Series champion at some point, and I forget who I think he played for the Cardinals, but his son is like the number 1 pick in the draft. Right, like the number 1 pick in the MLB draft, and then like Vladimir Guerrero, his son is like one of the best players in baseball right now, and he's been in the league for like 3 years now. But Vladimir Guerrero was a guy that we all would have watched when we were younger.
Interesting.
So,
okay,
this is crazy.
Yeah. Moral story time is flying by. We're getting older, and it's just it's only up from here, boys.
Make the most of every day.
Oh, dude, we gotta make the most of it every day. Amen, amen, brother. Man, so lots going on in the world today, fellas. One of the things that, of course, Brad, we were talking about how we wanted to discuss this on the pod is in regards to free speech and all this stuff that is slowly coming to the light. The truth shall reveal itself in due time, I guess we can say, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking nonetheless about Julian Assange, how he pretty much, I would want to say he's a free walking man now. He had to come to the U.S. to an island. What was an island to like pretty much
to plead guilty?
Yeah, and pretty much they gave him what is that proper term? The term they said that they I don't want to say not sanction. Is it not sanction?
Well, I mean, what process?
No, it was pretty much like they pardoned him.
Oh,
didn't they pardon him?
No, it's not a pardon. No, he had to plead guilty.
He had to plead guilty. Oh, okay.
Espionage.
So, okay,
that's it.
I've heard about this gentleman before, but I didn't know the details on like what crime he committed, right? Mm-hmm. So I looked a little bit into it, and we're gonna get into kind of like some of the details on what type of info he leaked, because it must have been pretty severe that the U.S. is coming after him, or pretty much they locked him away from this, right? So he was a gentleman that was running, or he created WikiLeaks, correct?
WikiLeaks, yeah.
And WikiLeaks is pretty much an area, or it was a domain that pretty much whistleblowers would come out to pretty much reveal all these secret documents from the government about all this, classified stuff that was going on, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the ones that I looked at, I was familiar with, it was Guantanamo Bay. Yeah. Guantanamo Bay, waterboarding and all that stuff. I mean, dude, the list goes on and on. But that was one of the ones that kind of stuck out, because I'm like, I remember about that when that was happening. They were doing a lot of shady stuff behind closed doors.
Yep.
And they were doing when the war in Iraq was going on. There was these videos of these I don't know who it was, particularly handling these drones or those fire strikes, or behind the fire strikes, but they were killing like innocent civilians.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy stuff. I'm like, yo, this is it. This is pretty nuts. And this dude pretty much stood by saying the people deserve to know the truth. That's what it boils down to. And of course, they try to hush him up. And then lo and behold, this is why he just came out, and he's pretty much walking free. And he's Australian too, right?
Yep,
he's Australian.
But
what other things from your recollection that we can discuss here on the pod that he was pretty well known for too, as well, aside from the Guantanamo Bay stuff? What other stuff that from your perspective, what caught your eye? Holy moly, pretty reckless stuff going on.
Essentially, what was going on, the whole plan from George Bush through Obama years, they had a plan that the State Department or whatever, they had a plan to go through, I think, 9 regime changes. So what they were trying to do in the Middle East is take out the anti-American leaders like Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, Bashar Rashad, or no, not Bashar Rashad. That's some basketball name. The guy out of Syria, I forget his name. But anyway, and so these were nations that were standing against. Muammar Gaddafi went to the UN, and he spoke to the UN saying that America is trying to get us out. Gaddafi told everybody, we are not dealing with the U.S. dollar.
Yep.
So they were getting off the U.S. dollar. He was trying to create the United States of Africa and trying to basically build a world power to rival the United States. So the military industrial complex did not want any part of that. And so they were going through and doing regime changes. So the way that they were doing that is they said, well, we got to go to war. 9/11 was our precursor into it, which there's a lot of questions that still to this day remain with 9/11. Was it really an attack or was it a false flag operation? And that's the question. But yeah, at any rate, it put us into Iraq. Well, it put us first into Afghanistan. Then all of a sudden we go into Iraq under this false premise of there being weapons of mass destruction. So we take out Saddam Hussein. And so there's all this stuff going on. And so Julian Assange is telling people this is a money laundering scheme by the military industrial complex. They are not trying to actually win any wars. They're trying to keep these forever wars, to keep the money funneling into these countries so they can wash it and then give it back to the intelligence corporations, security and corporations. And so what was happening was he was showing proof of it. And so they were, like you said, he was showing videos that were leaked by military U.S. personnel to him, to WikiLeaks. Now, he didn't want to know who was giving him the information. He made it completely anonymous. I don't need to know who's giving me this information, but here's how you give this information anonymously. And so then that way, if anybody comes to him, he can't under any amount of pressure say, hey, I know who has this information, yada, yada, yada. And so he was releasing videos of the military doing these airstrikes on these completely innocent people.
Yeah.
So then once these videos started coming out, then that's when the military people that were directly involved in these operations, the ones holding these kids that had been either killed or injured or whatever, and then they started coming out and saying, yes, it's true. That is what we are a part of, and this and that. And so that was and so essentially what's crazy about this whole thing though with Julian Assange is that the US government wanted to arrest him for espionage. Now, this is a first in history. Journalists are supposed to be protected with the freedom of press. Journalists have always been protected. One example that a lot of commentators have been talking about is Bob Woodward, where he went in and wrote a book called Obama's Wars, talking about highly classified information, highly classified, even higher classified than anything Julian Assange put out. And he put out all this information because he wasn't the one that got the information. It was fed to him by someone else, and he didn't have to reveal any of his sources because he's protected under that law. Julian Assange should have been protected under the same laws, but because it got in the way of the military industrial complex, America had egg on its face. They were completely embarrassed. Their whole plan had been foiled by just this one little nerdy guy.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to do everything. Hillary Clinton wanted to drone him.
I saw that. And that's where I think I texted when I read that part, how she said, can we just airstrike this guy, or like, pretty much, kill him with an airstrike or whatever. I'm like, yo, this is somebody from the government legit wanting to just wipe this dude out because of what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody was laughing because they thought it was a joke at first, and then she's the only one not laughing. Like, no, I'm serious, guys. Jesus. Can't we drone him?
Wow. This is a government official, people. Like, this is what's mind blowing to me. Like, I get, you don't have to care about all this stuff, whatever. But think about it, a person from that level, like, to think that they're for the people, quote unquote, wanting to commit murder, right? Straight up, like she's saying it in this document.
So
like, it's just crazy to me. Like, I don't get it. It's insane.
And he was he was just showing Americans what the truth was. See, when we got hit on 9/11, which, the story that we were told, and, whether it's the official narrative or not, yeah, we don't know. We really to this day don't know if that's the truth. But the story that we were told that unfolded on the morning of September 11th was two towers in New York got hit. Pennsylvania field probably aiming for the White House. An airplane went down. The Pentagon got hit, and 3 towers went down in one day, just straight down, like science has never seen before.
Yeah.
But so we were told that Al Qaeda immediately raised their hand, said we take credit for this. So it should have been just us going into Afghanistan and turning every stone to get our guy.
Yeah.
Right. And then it just turned into this forever war.
11 years, 12 years?
I don't know how many years. I know it was like 20. It was 2011 because we just got out when Biden got everybody out of Afghanistan. Those were our last troops there.
Yeah.
And it was a complete debacle.
It was a huge waste. A lot of innocent casualties from our troops, money spent for what? Like, I'm still asking this to this day. Like, what did we gain from it?
Well, that's the thing. We didn't gain anything. We lost. The tax base, all of our money was funneled in, according to Julian Assange, was funneled into the military to fight these wars, but really just turned around to support the military industrial complex, to buy them more weapons, to do more surveillance, all this kind of stuff that they are doing because they wanted all that money. And their intent was never to win the war. Julian Assange exposes it, and so he's basically his legal status is in limbo for 14 years. He'd been hiding and stuck in embassies and haggling over everything, having no freedom. He lost his freedom for 14 years.
That's crazy.
Over a non-crime. What he did was not a crime. Now, if you want to argue a case against Julian Assange, they said, well, he was releasing information which had names included of Afghan interpreters. So knowing full well that if he released those documents with those names, that Al Qaeda would come in and read those people and then slaughter their whole families. So that was the whole thing. So does that make Julian Assange a good guy, a bad guy? What does that make him?
Yeah.
Well, it made him the enemy for anybody who was working, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of Americans at that time were appalled by that. They saw Julian Assange as the enemy because he was basically getting in the way and inhibiting the American troops from succeeding. But that was under the pretense that we were fighting this war to win it.
Yeah.
And then when the truth just kept dragging out, and when we were over there for 20 years, just always seeming like we were at a stalemate with, people who were living in caves, nothing made sense. That's when we started to questioning our government.
I think it's still happening. I mean, you also brought up how Candace Owens was talking about how 9/11, how what was really the reason behind it, and are they really telling us the truth about it? And she also brought up the fact about how I forgot the actual specific figure of money that went missing a couple of days before. What was
so Donald Rumsfeld went on in the news 2.2 or 2.3 trillion dollars went missing by the Pentagon. The Pentagon was missing $2.3 trillion. And they asked Donald Rumsfeld, where is this money? So that was supposed to be the big news that came out at that time.
Yeah.
And then, so that was September 10th.
Yeah.
And then September 11th, the towers went down.
That's insane.
And then no one ever brought up the $2 trillion. And that was at that time, what were we, 19 trillion in debt? Now we're 34 trillion in debt. I mean, insane.
Wow. And I thought I was bad with money.
Right? Yeah.
Losing trillions, dog.
Dude.
That is insane.
Imagine being able to spend money that you never have to pay back. It's just forever debt. And you never have to worry about it.
That's crazy, man. Nah, man, it's this Assange dude is an interesting guy, man. I mean, I think he was doing good in regards to just letting the people know the truth on what's going on with all this stuff. Like, especially when it comes down for like us, working, we're working and then our taxes being funneled. What do we pay for? Right. Where is it going? Who's it benefiting? All this. So
Julian Assange, I mean, he's an interesting character. I won't say whether he's good or bad myself because he played a part that you could call him evil, knowing that the information he was going to put out was going to kill people. So, if you were holding on information and you knew it was going to kill people, would you put that information out, or would you try to shield some of that information a little bit more? Would you try to redact some names? What would you do? So that's where, and he just decided to let all the information out raw and let everybody know. So there were a lot of people that got killed with the information that he put out.
That's insane.
So it's very, for anyone who wants to give him a good or a bad label, I think you just have to take a very honest look at what he did, and knowing that he does have blood on his hands, and he could have probably done a hell of a lot better job at least redacting names. Better job, but he didn't. He chose to that was what he chose. So he will have to live with that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture, though, is that at the end of the day, he still did not commit any crimes. He did not commit espionage. He put out other people, the people that fed him the information, commit espionage. But it was through anonymous channels, so there's no way that he could give that information to the feds, to anyone investigating.
So the rumor is too that I think Tucker Carlson's going to do an interview with him. Oh. That's the next one. I'm definitely going to peep that one out.
Tucker's such a gangster,
dude. He is, man. He's getting on people that like when he did the Putin one was like that. I was just curious to know like what his thoughts are on everything going on from his angle, like what he thinks about the Ukraine war, like what is his main objective and all this stuff. So it's like I'm just curious as a person, right? Just to see what his mindset is on all this. But yeah, I mean Carlson's just doing a bunch of good stuff, man.
I think I've heard so many people trying to give Joe Rogan he's the Walter Cronkite of our time, of our era, award or label. It never fit with me. I think Joe Rogan is kind of in his own realm. I think he's in his own. He's just so individual. He's so unique in what he does that he's kind of his own unique brand. But if you were to give a Walter Cronkite award or call someone the Walter Cronkite of our time, I think that you got to give it hands down, single-handedly, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, man, he's doing a lot of good things. Him just being independent and doing his own thing when he wants with whoever he wants. So definitely, kudos to him, dude. But let's soothe our way into the debate, boys. What'd you guys think?
I didn't think you were going to bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna. So what are your thoughts, opinions?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay,
but I will say that I watched the highlights and things, and man, both of them didn't sound like they did very well. But Biden, good Lord,
what?
Biden did so much harm to the Democrats' chance of winning. Like, anyway, it's hilarious too because I was listening to the CNN panel, which normally just lick up Biden's nuts after everything he does, right? like, oh, he's a great man. Like, they still did some of that, but they're like, wow, we're in trouble. They're like, I've never seen CNN talk that way before, and they were like, they were seriously worried. And one of the guys said that the Democratic Party made a real big error by even sending him out there, essentially, and that they should have like somehow talked him out of running this race, because now all the governors and senators and things that were attached to Biden, they're like, how are we gonna win? Like, how are we gonna win if that's the guy? If he could barely. I mean, they asked him that. The one question I saw is when they asked him about abortion, right? And he's talking, he's doing his thing, and then all of a sudden he just goes
blank stare up
for like 5-6 seconds, and then he goes COVID, and everybody's like, what?
Yeah,
like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what the hell?
There were a lot of gems in that debate.
Oh, man, and this is what's crazy. In real time, we were getting people's opinions, thoughts, and memes about it in real time. And this is what I think at this point, news travels so quick in regards to just everything when it happens, Johnny on the spot, right? But for me, you're right. Going off what Brad's saying, homeboy just felt like he wasn't all there. Like I was watching majority of it, and there would be times where like he would kind of like pause and he would slur some of his words. I'm like, yo, I don't know who.
So there's a lot of people.
I'm like, this dude's like barely hanging on by a thread, dude.
Yeah, there's people that are on X and reporting that have seen their own family members suffer from dementia.
Yeah.
And they said that Joe Biden is easily in either stage 3 or stage 4 dementia. There's only 7 stages. And so he's already in an advanced stage. And so what they were saying too is some of the some documents that are getting leaked, they're saying that that Biden can only perform from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's he's only functional 25% of the time. So this debate was held
Part-timer.
at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So this was long past his window, and so that's when you saw him just
fall apart.
Falling apart.
The one thing also too that I want to bring up is they actually said that if were both parties willing to take a drug test, and Biden's camps denied to even do it.
Right.
Like that should be kind of like a red flag right there. Like it's kind of like boxing.
I mean, he is like Hunter's father.
That's what I'm saying. Like someone's like, well, why would you, if you know you're clean, you're the president,
right?
The highest seat in the country. Yeah. You're gonna deny a drug test?
He's railing lines before he goes out.
Dude, it's like, dude, no, there's something going on. That to me was kind of like something's fishy.
I've heard of some rumors that they're experimenting on like some high powered drugs. Like actually, I've heard this. Like some life extending drugs, and he's been like taking them basically.
I think it's called adrenochrome or whatever it's called. Adrenochrome. It's what Hillary Clinton is using, I think.
She's aged like cottage cheese. Yeah, but I mean, let's not let this go unnoticed either. I mean, Trump had an opportunity to just absolutely just destroy him, and like there were a lot of things that he said, the fact checkers are out there and stuff like that. And they did it for both of them, for Biden and for Trump. And Trump was like lying about just the dumbest shit. he was saying, well, we were number 1 and blah, blah, blah. And they were like number 5, or like we were number 4 and blah, or whatever. And like, he was just like stretching his,
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you. I'll just lay out my cards.
Yeah.
No one's gonna go harder on Trump in this podcast than me. I'm basically a Trump apologist at this point.
Perfect.
This would be the perfect part where you would roll out your MAGA hat, right? Just slip it on.
Which one? No. So what I loved, here's what I'm going to press back a little bit on, only because my Trump.
Magnificent. Excellent. Magnificent.
He couldn't have done any better, in my opinion, on this. Only for the simple fact is that everybody was preparing for him to come out sparring. But he knew he was in the enemy's playground. He knew that he was facing CNN. He had two enemies that were the moderators that knew we're going to go for Biden no matter what. I think he expected Biden to come out firing a little bit more.
Yeah.
No audience, no nothing. And I think his campaign staff convinced him, come in and look presidential. Don't pounce on him like what the things that make him
don't
great.
Give him what they're expecting.
Give him the whole reason why everybody says he mean tweets. Don't come out with that. Come out looking presidential, and he knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. I saw that speech, and I was just like, dude, he killed it. He absolutely killed it. And I was waiting for an indictment the next day for the murder of Joe Biden on that stage. I thought they were going to indict him again.
It went to a point too. They were talking about golfing. Did you see that?
That was amazing. That was amazing. And I'm going, and again, Trump apologist here. I'm going Team Trump 100% over Biden.
I mean, it's hard to not win when you're fighting someone who's helpless.
Yeah.
Like he could have done nothing and won. He could have literally showed up and waved at the crowd and won.
Right. But did you, okay, so here's the thing. And I'm really surprised at how quiet this went in the media. But here's the thing. Everybody was watching the debate. That's where all the eyes were on people. So when Biden fell and failed hard, it was news all over.
Oh, yeah.
The next day in North Carolina, Biden gave a speech, and it was old Biden. It was fiery Biden.
Different, way different. Night and day difference in my opinion.
His meds kicked in.
Oh, dude, they must have.
And everybody who was Team Biden was like, "Where in the F was he last night?"
Yeah.
Why did we miss it? It's because he was out of that 25% window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that speech was at 9 a.m.
There.
9 a.m.
He was fully charged up, and he wasn't on 10 to 15%.
He had his 9 cups of coffee to start the day.
So
no, that is insane, man. And also, dude, it's like, I think after the debate, everybody knew then and there that this dude is just, he can't go another 4 years, bro.
They were talking about whether he can finish even his term.
Yeah.
That's how bad it looked.
Yeah.
The rumors are already swirling. Like I told you, they're already thinking about replacements for him already.
So that's what the rumors are, right? And so everybody's thinking that this is an easy thing. There are FCC guidelines and regulations that these donors and everybody has to abide to. So a donor can't just move, or the DNC, whoever they can't just move the money from Biden and then just pick someone else.
Right.
So the decision ultimately has to come from Biden. Either he has to die.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. Or
his pride is too heavy. He's too prideful to ever give up.
100%.
And that's what that CNN panel were saying. They were saying that they were a little worried that even if it came down to it, if they're like, you're going to lose, he still won't.
Right. And so as a Trump guy, I was like, that was music to my ears because it scared me. It was so bad. Biden did that debate so bad that I'm like, oh my God, the reason why they did this debate so early was so that if he did do as bad as he did, they could replace him real quick. But his ego won't let him. And I was like, yes, good. Keep that ego, buddy. Keep that ego. And so we can win in a landslide this November. We can get the Senate, we can get the House, and we can get 2 more Supreme Court justices. We're looking at what's her name, Keegan, I think, or whatever her name is. She's about ready to retire, and then you got Clarence Thomas. So 1 liberal, 1 conservative. So that puts 1 more conservative on the bench. So that sets us for a whole generation, boys. Conservative generation.
Another thing too that was a pretty good play in regards to, like, like I said, we're living in times where we can easily respond to this stuff if something wasn't factual, something was just false, whatever, right? Biden said at one point that the Border Patrol was supporting him, like, we're behind him 100%. Immediately as soon as he said that, right after, they tweeted, no, we don't. The Republicans have always we've always backed Republicans, and we were backed by Republicans.
Yeah, we have never endorsed Biden and never will.
Yeah, insane. So that right there, bro, it's like, I mean, dude, what more do you have to do? It's like literally shooting a dead fish at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It was beautiful because I went to Reddit, and you go to Reddit, and it's like mainly just a bunch of leftists, and I just wanted to just read through their tears, and I just wanted to read through all the coping, and they were freaking out. They were talking about Trump and how they were pissed off at the moderators. They were like, why didn't they cut his mic off? Why didn't they call him out on his lies? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do this? It's rigged against us. So the liberals on Reddit really feel like this election is being rigged against them just because their guy freaking fumbled the ball.
It didn't go their way this time, dude. Yeah, it's insane, man. So
put his teeth in upside down in the morning.
Dude, I'm pretty sure he had an accident on stage.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that video too about how after, when everybody was pretty much leaving the stage, I think at this point Donald Trump left. Like, dude just had a hard time finding his way down the stage.
Yeah, he struggled.
He's like, holding onto the podium.
Dude,
and he's
I'm
like
like-
looking around like, mommy,
Dude.
like someone. And then his wife comes out and goes, come on. honey."
Did you hear her giving him like affirmations?
Like, good job. You did everything.
You read
like,
it. You answered all the questions.
I'm like, it doesn't look good, lady. It doesn't look good.
I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
Love.
I remember the first time Trump won in 2016. We were driving down to P.F. Chang's in Linwood to meet our pastor and his wife for a dinner. And over the radio, it was Cairo 97.3. Dory Monson was on there, and he said, just won Michigan. Trump won. Trump just won the election. I looked at my wife and I'm like, oh my God, our guy won. No way. No way. And that's so now I'm just going in and I'm pretty sure my pastor didn't vote for Donald Trump.
You're like,
I think he was a Hillary supporter.
Oh, man.
As a lot of pastors around here are, but
yeah, man.
Hillary
It's,
is worse than Biden.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, boys. I mean, do you think at this point it's safe to say, and no, they're also, actually, before I ask this question, there's already talks about having a second debate too. I don't know if you guys heard that. There's another one.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna have him on some new age drugs.
Oh, dude.
Well,
I mean,
and it's
he's
going to be
gonna be-
held in the morning.
He's going to be doing
yeah.
the electric slide across the stage and doing the worm.
Well, dude, and they gave him 2 weeks in Camp David to prepare for this thing. I mean, dude had 2 weeks.
You can't prepare for a mental illness.
Trump was out there campaigning,
playing golf, all that.
just
You know,
didn't even have time to debate. Like, I'll just pull something out, pull something out of the MAGA hat.
I like that. There's still that one that's in my head is when he went down to the Bronx and he invited those two rappers down and they were giving him his kudos, right? He's like, I like those teeth. Where can I get me some of those?
Yeah.
Some of the grill.
He did that recently too. He was like, "Look at that chain." I forgot who it was. It was some rapper, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and it wasn't even a really you're talking about Trump, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even a really well known rapper, but like he was a big rapper in his city, and I want to say they were in like North Carolina or something. And he's like, "Big Dub C, he's up in here." He's like, "Check him out over there."
Yeah,
He's like,
baby.
"Look at that chain."
That's my boy.
He's like, "Look at that chain." He's like, "That hat looks good on you."
Yeah.
And then he had the hat on backward and he turned it around and like pulled the hat down.
It was a beautiful
It's
debate.
actually kind of amazing, like how much, like a lot of the leftists will say that he's racist and all this stuff, and it's like, dude, a lot of his supporters, majority of them are ethnic.
Trump
Yeah.
is hanging out with way more black people than Biden is.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, the more you see it, I think as much as we see it because we're actually looking into the stuff that, like I said, social media now, the power of that is that we're seeing stuff that these news media outlets aren't really showing. They're not showing this half side of where,
Right.
a lot of Hispanics are supporting him too.
Doesn't fit the
a lot.
narrative.
Yeah, and a lot of African Americans too. So it's like, that's not in their vision to really see, like, he's really universal at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? He's getting, like, I honestly think at this point, the way it's looking out right now, dude, he's going to win by a landslide.
I hope
think
it
he's
is.
going to win by a landslide, dude.
If it's not
Unless
a
something goes
landslide, I
crazy.
will be shocked.
Yeah,
I will call voter interference if it's not a
I think we're going to
landslide.
see a lot of those they call battleground states that flip back and forth a lot of times. I think those are going to all be red.
Solid red.
Yeah.
that'd be
Every
crazy.
single
Like-
one of them.
Like Pennsylvania, number one, that's Pennsylvania always flops back and forth. It seems like every 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
And dude, they're going to be red.
Ohio,
Guaranteed.
Michigan.
I think there was a poll too. after
There's
the
no way
debate.
Washington's turning red though, boys, no matter what,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
It's red where it needs to be.
Isn't it like 80-20? Isn't it like 80-20 last
I don't know,
time?
dude. I really
wanna
don't
say it
know.
was
Well, because Seattle's 80 and and all the farmers are 20.
It's
Look how
kind
that
of-
place is going.
You got
right now.
Ellensburg, just try to fight
I
for a
don't
piece
know.
of
I
the
mean, I
table.
think at this point we need to start looking at a different voting system. I don't know. Some people are just too dumb to vote, and like maybe people that own a farm get more than one vote. I mean,
Well-
I don't know, something like meaningful citizens, because we got like crackheads and people that think they should be able to wear a Pocahontas dress to their graduation.
Waste of skin.
Well, I think
I mean,
once
pretty
Trump is
much,
in office,
multiple ways.
I think once Trump is in office, I think that our voter base, it might go 50-50 once we export all of our illegals out.
Right?
You know?
Possibly, man. No, but
Did you guys see the ad that the Seattle Police Department was going to be hiring immigrants?
what the hell?
Illegals.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
Are you
saw
serious?
that, right? You
I
saw
haven't
that?
seen it in Seattle. I've seen
Yes.
it. I think it was New York.
They said
or
we
something.
welcome all. Yeah, like wow.
Yeah,
we
someone
are
who is
desperate
already breaking the law
to enforce the law.
Tells you
Make
you
it
need
make
to follow
sense.
the law.
Make it make sense. Dude, I
So,
swear, it's everything's upside down right now.
that's
That's
why we
like
need
hiring
Daddy Trump.
fucking somebody that was just in jail. Like, hey, why don't we just pull the people out of prison and start making them cops?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, come
I
on.
can't. Who, like I said, who comes up with this stuff, dude? Who?
The mayor,
liberals.
the mayor, probably.
The leftists, the communists, the Marxists.
Insane. That's insane. But, but I
dude,
was gonna say,
we're gonna get assassinated tonight.
Oh yeah.
we're getting hit with
Anybody
the
on the
darts.
left side is gonna hate this
yeah, we're
episode.
rocking
What was-
targets,
And we
already.
don't ever go this deep. We normally just
Yeah.
keep it, center and whatever. But
No, I mean, it's because of the debate, man. But what I was saying too, though, just to go off this, 44% said Biden did well, while 77% said Trump won the debate. So no,
do that math, bro.
That's
do
what it
that
was.
math
Something like
real
that.
quick.
I think
do
that's
that
what it said.
math.
I have to look it up.
56, 44.
Add it up.
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah.
Had to be 56.
Probably
If you
like
said
that.
44,
Hold on.
I can't believe. If it's 42, it's 58. 42.
We gotta get on our. We
I'll
gotta
give
get
you
on
the
our
stats. I'll give you the stats, bro. It was 67-32.
Okay, that's probably what it was. Yeah.
And then 1% were indifferent, probably, right?
It had to have
Yeah.
been, but it was 67-32.
I'll have to look it up right here. Give me
Trump
one
clear
second.
Yeah,
winner.
look it up. CNN.
And it's on CNN. Clear winner, Donald Trump. That's crazy.
CNN poll.
Right here, one day ago.
67-32.
Yeah, 67-33.
Oh, 33.
Yeah, there we
oh,
go, there we go.
okay.
That- my
Okay.
bad. My numbers were way off, people. Sorry. That's why we have our producer here.
So basically, 33% of the voters were delusional.
yeah.
Let's be
Wide margin
Yeah,
on Trump.
right.
Like,
well, they were part of the campaign.
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. You can't. I mean, good lord. How do you say he won?
He didn't. He
could
didn't.
barely even. He was like in the slap. When I watched the slap champion or the what do you call it?
Slap champs.
What's it called? Slap.
So 57% of debate watchers said that they do not have confidence in Biden's ability to lead the country, while 44%
Power
said
slap.
they had no confidence in Trump's ability to lead the country. So higher percentage on Biden's.
So in power slap, when they lean over, they start leaned over, right? And the guy he can either call out 1, 2, or he can just slap on one. There's a lot of the guys will get hit and the podium. They lean over a podium.
Yeah.
And when they almost get knocked out, they kind of lean on it. They like use it to stand up. That's what Biden looked like during the debate. He looked like
Dude,
he
his
got
mouth
power
was
slapped.
hanging open. I mean, it was.
How much Botox has that guy had?
I
Dude,
thought
good
that I
Lord.
seriously thought there was going to be intervention. I saw because Trump was talking, and then Biden just looked like he, for one, couldn't even understand what Trump was saying. Like he was trying to like understand it, so his mouth was just hanging open. And apparently, that's a sign of dementia, of advanced stage dementia.
He was probably drooling too.
So
Well, I was waiting for that.
is it safe to say it's elder abuse at this point?
I mean, that's the term that they use, but Biden wants it himself, so I think he deserves every little bit of this because he plagiarized one of his speeches the first time he ran in the 80s. He got caught for that, and then he lied his whole time in. He used the Department of Justice. He weaponized the Department of Justice to come after his opponent and gave him 34 felonies. Coming at him like that. So, he deserves every bit of everything he's going through. All the shame, all the humiliation, all of it.
What about the clips of him saying the hard R, like in like montages?
100%. All of it.
No,
all
serious.
of it.
There's like 15-second long Instagram videos of him in like different speeches back in like the 70s and 80s, like just saying the N-word.
No, I think it was the early 90s, bro.
Yeah, it was something like where he where it was color.
When it was
in
too
color,
late.
yeah.
Yikes.
So, and then Michelle Obama. So check it out. You might see Barack Obama hanging out with him and defending him on X and whatnot. But Michelle Obama apparently wants no part of him. And she will not campaign for Biden whatsoever.
Interesting.
Because apparently one of her good friends was one of Hunter Biden's exes. And so all of the Bidens cut her out and just act like she was dead. So then Michelle was like, oh, they're going to do that? Okay. Then they get no love from me. And so now Michelle's out. Yeah. So they've really done a lot of damage. Those Bidens, it's a toxic family. It's a messed up family. I mean, you talk about what the son, they still haven't found who owns that bag of Coke in the White House, just so you know. They still haven't found out.
Had that been anybody else, they'd find out real quick that same day, right?
I bet you that bag isn't the same type of bag that we've seen in our lifetimes. That baggie probably was like just
a full
mucho grande.
Supersized.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
But I mean, and then you got Hunter Biden. He's going through his own gun charge and this and that. And so, yeah, I mean, I think everything that Biden is going through, he deserves it. So to answer your question, elder abuse, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say this is him doing it himself.
Karma.
I mean, he's got the choice. Karma. He's got the choice.
Yeah. True.
Molly
man.
agrees.
I mean, so we'll. Yeah, he does.
Molly's speaking on it.
No, well, it's gonna be interesting what happens here in the next couple months, though, especially come election time. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, boys. Rigged or legit. We'll see what happens. Who's going to be running the country for the next couple of years? So,
might have a civil war.
Already calling for civil war. Aside from that, boys, anything else in the agenda that you guys want to throw here on the burner while we're here at it? We're getting close to the 4th of July. Of course, as you're watching this right now, when this releases, we're definitely going to be absent here for the next episode, I believe. And then we're going to have our follow-up episode with a very special guest, like I said at the very beginning of this one. Just as FYI, but anything else you guys want to bring to the forefront?
I was going to say happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
one thing, please do not start any fires.
Yeah.
Let's be safe.
Let's be safe.
I don't want a fire season.
Yeah, definitely. That sucks when that happens.
Come on.
Dude.
Yeah.
It ruins the summer.
And of course, I'm still scarred from my 2018 4th of July.
Do you remember what happened to him?
No.
Oh, I'll show you the picture after the pod. I'll show you the picture.
Shot with a firework?
I took a mortar. It was a mortar, one of the big things.
Someone pointed it at you?
On accident. I'm sure. I hope.
Like, you guys
hope it wasn't a Kill Whitey incident.
I've heard of Roman candle wars, but not mortar wars.
No. So it was just somebody was like, look out right at the last minute in a big old mortar. So luckily my daughter was there and she said, she told me like, Dad. And then I just turned, but it would have hit me in the back of the head.
Oh my God.
But I turned.
That would have killed you probably.
I could have, but I turned and it ended up just hitting me right on the chin and then blew up right there. So I had burns.
Dude, it was
all
gnarly.
the way down.
It was pretty gnarly.
I mean, it blew my shirt up. I mean, so I'm walking around.
And you went to the Seattle Mariners game, right?
Yeah, I still so that was on the 4th, right? And then I had a Mariners game on the 7th. And so when I did,
all covered in burns.
And I know I was in shock that night because I should have went to the hospital, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna do it myself. So here's how this went real quick. 4th of July story.
Let's go. Let's hear.
So here I am. I mean, my shirt, everything was on fire. I put everything out. I've got burns everywhere.
Oh my God.
But luckily I'm in shock. And so I just look at my daughter and I go, well, we should probably go. And so we're loading up all of our fireworks, and then we're walking to the car. And as I'm walking through the crowd, they're like, oh my God, And then I'm like, keep going, honey. Just keep walking. And so we get to the car. She's just crying. I mean, just tears just pouring. And my wife, is in the car with our baby. And she's like, what's going on? And then she looks at me and says, I look like Fire Marshal Bill, dude.
Bro.
And so I just said, yeah, we got to get going. So just get in the car. So, my oldest daughter, she was in the back seat. And I said, and we're just driving now. And I said, hey, honey, I just want you to remember one thing about this night. You cried. Daddy didn't. So we get to the house, and now it's like the what's that called? The shock started to kind of wear out, and so then I didn't feel any pain. I don't feel pain. I there's something about it. I've been in too many fights, and I've never felt pain. I think that was in large part because of my mom, but that's facts. I mean, I can't deny it. But anyway, so I sent my wife to the store, and I said, just get anything burn related. I said, I have gunpowder in my skin. I got to pull all of that. I've got to extract all of it. So it's iodine, burn cream, bandages, gauze. I want all of it. So she came in, and I just all night just would replace bandages, and then it wasn't until like the 7th dressing where I finally stopped smelling gunpowder coming out from my skin. But I mean, I was all tore up. So yeah, ever since then,
he sent me a picture like, dude, what the happened to you, dude?
That's like a crazier version than what I saw when I was younger. I got there was this girl, maybe I was like 11 or 12, and I thought, oh, this girl was like 14. She was kind of cute, you know. She came over and visited my parents for the 4th of July, and one of those, you know, the Saturn missils. 100, it tipped over and shot her. Like 9 or 10 times. Like, and she had burn marks like on her side and like on her arm, and it caught her shirt on fire. And she took her shirt. I mean, it didn't like engulf in flames, but she took her shirt off and it was like on fire.
Holy moly, man.
The threat is
real.
real.
Dangerous, dude. And then you got that NFL player who blew his fingers off. Do you remember that?
I saw that.
Yeah, Justin Tuck, I want to say his name is, but he blew like 3 of his fingers off.
Wow.
And he still played.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had those Seahawks
Stick your
boys.
hand into the ground. You're a defensive lineman. You have to, and like your hands are like your most important thing.
Didn't we have the Seahawks players that had no arm or whatever?
One of them did have a hand, I think. Was
He was born with that though. That wasn't firework related.
Well, I don't know. I don't keep up.
Yeah, it's funny. In Madden, just randomly before we go, in Madden, when he was in the game, they had this glitch where he would stick his stump arm up and the ball would stick to it, and he would start like he would catch it, he would intercept it in the stump arm. Yeah.
What the hell? It's like a power move, like a secret power move.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The sticky stuff on it.
Yeah. So be safe.
Definitely.
Anyway.
More of the story, people, be safe out there while you're, lighting up some fireworks, and also don't drink and drive, please. Be safe. Have a DD.
Don't Justin Timberlake yourself.
Oh, dude. So yeah, right off. Good segue.
Are we doing it?
Random. No, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're definitely doing it.
Okay.
We definitely got to go into JT. Very random. Conspiracy wise, tinfoil hats on. His initiation into the Illuminati.
No.
Or part of the Illuminati.
No way. Okay, go ahead. I'm feed into it. I want to know.
Supposedly that like it's like for him, it was like a way for him to like he was trying to come out. I read this on Reddit. I read this on X. You know, everybody puts their own thoughts and opinions into this stuff. And I'm just me, scrolling away because, I'm just chilling, kind of relaxing at the end of my day. And they were saying because he was trying to get out of it. And, they were pretty much warning him like, hey, no, you're not going to come out scot clean. We're going to have to blemish your character. And that's why it happened.
That's really a tame way of doing it. Yeah.
Didn't they say they found like multiple drugs in the system, right?
Well, so I have tried to look that story up, and all I've seen in the stories is alcohol. So I haven't seen anything on that. So while you're pulling that up, I'll just tell you what I do know. So, he's been having some marital issues for a while, and his wife has actually been going on podcast, being very cryptic about things, and basically just talking about how he really just needs to relax. He needs to rest. And so even he shouldn't be going on this world tour.
Yeah. So he thinks fans. So we've been going through ups and downs, left and right. He said, in cheering crowd, it's been a tough week. I know sometimes it's hard to love, but you keep on loving me and I'm going to love you right back. Okay. So yeah. So I guess he was heavily intoxicated, but I swear there was an article saying that there was like they found other stuff in his system.
Well, so that's, I'm going to say that's unsubstantiated because I haven't seen anything other than one tweet. But what I will say is that the reason why he got arrested, the officer was so young that when he pulled him over, Justin Timberlake assumed that the officer knew who he was, and he goes, "Hey man, you're gonna ruin this world tour." and the young officer was like, "What world tour?" And he goes, "I'm Justin Timberlake."
Oh, he didn't know who he was.
And he's like, "Who are you?"
Who are you again?
Drug him in and processed him, and so he did the officer didn't even know who he was dealing with.
Okay. So yeah. So he's probably heavily intoxicated. But I'll have to if I come across the article, I'll have to send it to you off the pod just to see, just to show you. But yeah, I mean, he was probably just having a rough night, wanted to get some drinks, and just kind of slip away for a minute, and lo and behold, this is what happened.
Yeah, but
Man, he's 43 years old.
My prediction, he's about to lose a marriage.
Yeah,
I think so. There's just some massive issues going on with him. And what's his wife's name anyway?
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot too. I was thinking the Ashton Kutcher, but he's not.
No, Beale. Isn't it something
Jessica Biel?
Jessica Biel?
Yeah.
Is that Jessica Biel? Okay. Yeah, she's holding it together, you know. But she's like, you know, she's the one raising the kids, and she's spending all this time with the kids, and she's just basically on podcast talking about how he's just in a roundabout way, he's just focused on his tour, he's focused on his stuff. And so here he is, his one moment to relax. He's just out drinking. Why isn't he relaxing with his family? Why isn't he spending any time talking to his kids and doing all this? He's not doing all that. So, and then another thing I want to talk about, if we're going to stay on Justin Timberlake, is the fact that, you know, it seems like the internet has completely turned against him. And I think that everybody is holding it against him with that Janet Jackson fiasco at the Super Bowl.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if we could say the
Nipplegate.
Yeah, Nipplegate.
and so, you know, where he ripped her clothing off. Now, the story is he didn't even know that was going to happen. He knew he was going to rip the shirt off, but she was supposed to be wearing more. It wasn't until the last minute where she decided that she was going to do something else, and what we saw was her own decision, last minute decision. So he shouldn't have been wrapped up to it. But the other thing too was revealed in Britney Spears' book, autobiography, where she had revealed that when her and Justin Timberlake were dating when they were kids, or like 19, 20s, whatever, that she got pregnant. And he told her to get an abortion. And so a lot of people held that against Justin Timberlake. So he's got the Janet Jackson thing, the Britney Spears abortion. And a lot of people are just like, you know, here he is. He's acting like he's just perfect and this and that. And then here it is. And people are just pouncing on it. So
yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, I did hear about the Britney Spears one. Got her pregnant, told her to abort it. Didn't want to go through with it. Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of these people that, you know, are up there in the famous list. I mean, they got a lot of stuff that's going on behind closed doors that we never know of. And, you know, this is one of the things that's just slowly coming out. On that note, though, we'll finish it off with this because I want to get your perspective on this one. What's the gentleman's name of the quarterback? His
Matthew
wife?
Stafford?
No, not this one. It's not Matthew Stafford. His wife came out talking about how in college they were dating. They broke up, and she was trying to get him back or get back at him by dating the backup quarterback.
Well, that's what it says right there. It says Matthew Stafford's wife admits to dating his backup.
Okay. So this is what it is. So
yeah, click that.
So this is the one thing.
Harrison Butker.
This is the one thing that
I thought we were going Russell Wilson and Golden Tate.
I don't think it's this one though.
No, it is. You just have to.
But I'm old. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's 13 minutes.
This is 8 days ago too.
With their crazy
cups and all let's see if we can
get a story.
Yeah. So okay. So I'll just narrow it down. I'll give you the summary. They broke up. She wanted to get back at him. She wanted to sleep, or she slept. I think she did sleep with the backup quarterback. Fast forward, she's saying this already while they're married. I think they have a couple kids. They have 2 kids. Yeah. This is kind of my question. I'm asking. This is a legit question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you. I'm asking my boys. Right? We're here just having a conversation. Why would you say that now? Why would what would be your reason, your goal, your mission, your objective for you to say, oh yeah, by the way, back in the days when we broke up, I was trying to get smashed by your backup quarterback, your boy over here on the team. That
he left the cupboard door open
to get clicks on her podcast, probably.
But I think she
she
was a guest on a different podcast. She wasn't. I don't know, it's not her own.
She said some wild shit last year too.
But like what? Well, I don't know. Again, to me, I just looked at it very kind of like, is this? To me, it's kind of more like an attention move. You know, like you want attention on you all of a sudden. But for what reason?
But you know that type of news is gonna hurt.
Well, it's embarrassing to homeboy,
right?
Why would you want to do that? You want to literally wreck your family like that, like, and be like on the pedestal of just bringing embarrassment,
right?
To your husband, the kids.
It must be over, huh?
It's crazy to me. Like when I read that, I'm like, and and I never really took note to see like what people are discussing about this, but it just blows my mind that someone would wake up to like, I'm gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Well, it's so many years in the past, but bring this up. And what if he doesn't even know?
Right.
And then now he knows. He's like, the hell? Like, really?
Some of the sports wives just are crazy with what they.
Well, you don't.
Yeah.
Dude, sports wife, Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
The Vanessa chick. Apparently, Kobe Bryant. So apparently, I didn't know, but she didn't have a very good relationship with Kobe's parents.
Okay.
So they were in a situation where they had to sell Kobe's championship ring so that they could get whatever money they needed. They needed money instead of her just saying, "Hey, no, keep the ring.
Keep the ring.
We'll pay for this or whatever." It's a one and done deal or whatever. But apparently, the friction is so bad between her and Kobe's parents that she wouldn't even help him out and made them sell their son's championship ring.
I mean, that's his parents too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I figured you'd have
He does have 5 of them, but I mean,
yeah. but still, it's like wood ring, from his legacy, But crazy.
Yeah.
To build on Brad's point with crazy sports wives. I mean,
yeah, that's nuts. I mean, like I said, I think out of respect, right, you would at least try to help him out because her husband passed away.
Right.
You would at least try to do the right thing.
Right.
Again, my opinion, but who knows? Like, who knows what the relationship is really like? Why it's not at the best? Who knows? But just from the outside looking in, it does look it does look bad.
Kelly Stafford needs to quit going on podcasts,
Dude, it's
because she said something last year too that made it look like said some things that were should have been inside the locker room.
yeah, it's like yeah.
She was like,
Personal
it had to do with football though, but she was like, Matt's just not really trusting his new receivers, and he doesn't think he has a lot of talent on the team. And it was right before the season started, and I'm just sitting here thinking, what did he gain by you saying that?
Yeah, why would you say that?
Yeah,
Why?
that's probably something that he talked about in house.
Your business, yeah.
And then she's out telling everyone about it. I mean, she needs to shut up.
see,
Just shut up.
I don't know, man.
one cares
I
what you
thought
have
it
to
was
say.
just very interesting that like I said, from he won the Super Bowl for them. Who knows?
The Rams.
The Rams, right? Yeah. It's like, dude,
I know.
this is crazy.
And what's crazy too is he had one of his best years this year.
Yeah.
With those receivers that he said that she said, oh, he doesn't trust them and this and that. And it's like, wouldn't you think that would be the case anyway, though? Like if you're a quarterback and it's all based on timing and repetition, if you're with brand new people, you're not going to trust them fully.
Right.
Yeah.
But why is that news?
It takes
for you
time
to
to
tell
And
them?
maybe he didn't even mean it in the way that she said it.
He was probably just talking around, literally hanging out on the island in the kitchen, while she's cooking.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, today practice was kind of rough.
Kind of just expressing himself.
Guys
like how,
off, guys were off.
Had a bad day.
Not on the same page.
Right.
Man, and then she goes and tells a podcast.
Well, and she may have reworded it. Maybe his thing was, man, I don't know how it's going to go this year. We got these new people, and it could have been just something like that. And then she turned it into, he doesn't trust them.
Page LA News. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's just the worst, man. See, nah.
yeah, that's insane. I'm trying to find out.
Joe Budden talked about it. It's so funny. Joe Budden.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the actual clip of them.
You click news, I think
it's this one, right? I don't know.
That's the whole podcast. But you might be able to scroll down and find a timestamp.
Yeah. We're still getting used to this, people. Me producing and
oh, there we go.
okay, there we go. Let's see.
Discover school of course. Unconventional recounts the hilarious and unconventional start. Oh no, maybe not. Scroll down into the comments. I bet you that it's on there. If you find a blue hyperlink.
Well, one of the first comments. This pod should be mandatory listening for young men. Such an important lesson. You can be a millionaire achieving at the highest level of your profession, and if you pick the wrong girl, she's still gonna degrade you in public for laughs.
Yep.
Scroll down.
100%. 100%.
Scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see if we can find the timestamp.
You get a like from the Beyond
You get a like,
Expectation.
right? Yeah, we should sign it to our thing.
Just keep going.
All right, I'll keep going right now.
Kelly is for the streets. I love those comments.
Y'all both the type that don't want anyone happy unless they're with you. Yeesh.
I'm surprised nobody timestamped.
I know, right? Your kids are gonna see this one day. Good job.
Kelly Stafford out of pocket.
For real.
Matt Simford.
That's insane.
Well, if he didn't know.
I get Russell Wilson draft day girlfriend. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell did it too.
Someone's like, really? No timestamps? Y'all females be lazy with it?
Hey, click on the replies. I bet you there's one in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Someone's like, no timestamps.
Yeah, no timestamps.
First
It's
5
crazy.
minutes, and after that, I said F it.
yeah.
Yeah, all
That's
right.
crazy. So, I mean, I guess that clip of that going around, and of course, it was probably like their most viral moment too. Like whoever was producing that pod probably figured like this is going to definitely get clicks,
Right.
And they let it fly, and then of course this is why it's getting so much traction. But nah, man, I just thought it was. I mean, dude, your dude.
Well, it doesn't look like she's getting a lot of
no love, no amor.
yeah.
That's
People are
insane.
definitely against her on that one.
Wow.
Crazy.
But I mean,
only 10,000 views. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the work of, or the results of just what you were airing out your husband here. And just,
look at that.
God, she's goofy looking too.
She looks crazy.
she looks crazy.
She's got that crazy eye. She totally wants the attention.
Matt Stafford hung like a hamster. What the hell's going on?
Oh yeah, starting with the hilarious tale of dating his backup quarterback just to get his attention. That's what was it. I think that was it. They didn't break up. It was just for her to get the attention of him. It's like, girl, you can do that by just going out to the dude, maybe, whatever. You don't got to like
So many better ways.
There's multiple ways, bro.
Right.
It's insane.
Yep.
Well, it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
That's the type of women we got out there these days.
from Bradley's
By the
perspective,
way,
right?
hit me up in the DMs.
Yeah. No, we got to properly vet. We actually taled about this before.
Oh, we do have to bet.
We got to properly vet, and also I passed the idea of having like an episode, like a dating episode for our boy Brad, and getting like maybe like 5 or 6 contestants, and just go around, just kind of like have like that I don't know what you would call it,
That's
but
funny.
Something like the nature, right? Kind of like talking about it, dating wise. Where do you see yourself like in this pool of the dating scene in today's world right now? Just kind of discussing it because I find it very interesting, to be honest. Just looking from the standpoint of how dating was back in our times, your time, my time. So it's like it's kind of cool to get that perspective from that, and also our boys living through it. So I think it'd be interesting.
It's dark.
If you like that idea, I mean, let us know in the comments. Should we do something like that? Should we host something like that? I mean, let us know.
It's dark out there.
It's dark out
My
there.
boys all out there. You all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But
Tough times.
but yeah.
All I know, like, I've already made this deal with my wife. I say, if we ever get divorced, I am just single for life because I know what's out there. I know what's
Not
out there.
much.
Oh man.
Not much. Couple of headaches.
Couple headaches.
Tell you that.
All right, man. I mean, yeah, we'll see where it goes. So we'll see. Like I said, with the idea we were talking. We'll see what happens.
I mean, if we can find a diamond in the rough out there, whatever, then that's she's out there.
Right.
I know the right one is out there.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
Just, it'll
matter of time.
It just takes some time and vetting.
This might take me like 15 years to find.
Yeah.
You're the one I always wanted.
No, but aside from that, boys, are we good? Do you want to sign this one off?
We're good. Yeah, man. We hit it all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap this one up. Again, stay tuned for our next episode that's coming up. We're gonna have a fantastic guest in the realms of AI. It's gonna be very interesting and more details on that. But of course, like we said earlier, definitely be safe out there on the 4th of July. Be safe lighting those fireworks, and also don't drink and drive. Definitely, get a DD, have a backup plan, and just be safe out there, but also have fun.
For real.
But till then, hopefully when this drops, you have a fantastic and awesome day. We'll catch you in the next one. We love you. We're going to sign out.
Peace.
Peace.